After Phil Foden continued his exceptional run of form with a match-winning performance in Sunday's Manchester derby, we ask whether he can finally nail down a starting position for his country ahead of Euro 2024. England's left-sided problem went away for quite a while, long since the days of hoping that Steve Guppy, Jason Wilcox, Chris Powell, Alan Thompson, Trevor Sinclair, or Joe Cole might be the solution. Football has evolved to such a point that there are other ways to solve this most infamous of problems, one that plagued England and worried fans for years on end, than just playing someone else on the left side of midfield in a 4-4-2. Inverted forwards such as Raheem Sterling and Marcus Rashford filled the void for a while, and Gareth Southgate's use of a 3-5-2 formation at the 2018 World Cup meant there was no left side of attack to cause a problem or even a discussion, for that matter. But ahead of a European Championships this summer at which England have to be considered among the favourites having lost in the final at the last edition on penalties, there is once again a little uncertainty over the left-sided position in attack. Southgate will continue with the 4-3-3 formation he has used at the last couple of tournaments, and in that formation is a position to be filled. England have a vast amount of attacking talent, so much so that the 82-cap Sterling hasn't played for England or even been called up to an international squad since the 2022 World Cup in Qatar 15 months ago. But despite the wealth of options, there is only really one viable left-sided option heading into this summer's tournament, and yet it isn't one that Southgate seems all that keen on using. Phil Foden is having a genuinely sensational campaign at Manchester City. He has been one of the Premier League's players of the season and, given Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland have both missed big chunks of the season, if City are to retain their crown and become the first team in English top-flight history to win 4 consecutive league titles, Foden will have played a big part with his national team. However, he has always remained less integral. After starting on the left side of attack in England's 2 knockout games at the 2022 World Cup, having forced his way into the starting 11 with his performances off the bench in the group stage, Foden started none of the first 5 of England's Euro 2024 qualifiers last year. He eventually muscled his way into the team, starting the final 3 games of that campaign, doing so twice on the right and once in a number 10 position. But while he started in a crunch game against Italy, the final 2 of those starts came after England had already secured their place at the tournament. The starting position on the left for the 8 qualifiers was instead filled by James Maddison, 3 starts, Marcus Rashford, 3, and Jack Grealish, 2. Foden was fit, available, on the bench and ready to play in each of those games. Maddison has been playing centrally for Spurs and has been doing pretty well, but in truth he hasn't got back to his best since missing 2.5 months of the season with an ankle injury. Rashford scored a screamer against Man City on Sunday but was otherwise as anonymous as he has been all season, while Grealish has had plenty of fitness problems and has struggled for consistency this season since the high of last season's treble win. Right now, he is the best in the league, said Pep Guardiola after Foden's man-of-the-match performance in Sunday's 3-1 derby win over Manchester United, in which the midfielder scored twice to turn the game on its head. To be world-class you have to win games. Now, he's winning games. Always he scored goals but now he's winning games. When you do this, you reach another level as a player. There's no disputing how good Foden has been of late. Sunday was the peak of his recent run of form, and he ran riot. He attempted 9 shots, 3 times as many as United managed in total and the most he has ever had in a Premier League game for City, and took his goal tally for the season to 18 in all competitions. The most he has managed in a campaign before, and he still has 3 months of 2023-24 to go. Those goals have come from just 12.9 expected goals. He had a whopping 116 touches and maintained a pass completion rate of 95.2%. Those are the kind of numbers you usually see a centre-back at a possession-dominant team racking up against a relegation battler. Foden was operating almost exclusively in crowded areas in the final third against a United side with Champions League aspirations, although they sat back for much of the game and played like a team with little confidence in their ability to keep hold of the ball. Foden started on the right side of midfield and did plenty of good work stretching the play out there, as well as cutting inside onto his left, something he did to devastating effect to fire in his rocket of an equaliser. But he didn't stick to his flank by any means, and later in the game, with City stuck at 1-1 and toiling in their search for a winner, Guardiola moved Foden over to the left. Despite being on his natural side, where it is easier for a left-footer to take the ball around the outside, Foden did what he does best and stuck to coming infield. Foden's versatility is a massive strength, but there's no doubt it's been a bit of a hindrance in his career. Guardiola loves moving players around, and Foden has played a vast range of positions in the last few years. While that initially meant he got more opportunities all over the pitch, in more recent times it has meant that holding down a starting spot at both club and international level has been that bit more difficult, as he has been shunted around the pitch into positions where his manager needs someone. He has at least been given consistent game time of late. Foden has started each of City's last 16 Premier League games, already 5 games longer than his previous longest run of consecutive starts. He has still, however, had to deal with playing in different positions week to week, but while Foden could play in basically any position for England, there is probably only one spot open for him. In Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka and Jude Bellingham, England already have 3 other potential match winners, 2 in the centre-forward and right-wing positions, as well as someone who operates centrally. Moving any of them out of position would surely damage England too much to be worth considering, while previous evidence suggests it's extremely unlikely that Southgate would be bold enough to play both Foden and Bellingham in the number 8 positions. Playing Foden on the left is the only solution. While most of his appearances this season have come on the right, he has produced some brilliant displays when playing on the left, including his hat-trick performance against Brentford last month. As was the case when he was on City's left in the closing stages on Sunday's Derby win, Foden popped up in central positions at Brentford, constantly threatening the opposition goal. And that's the final content of today's video. Like, subscribe to support City Insider.